everyone, Christina here. Today I'm continuing my birthday card mini series, and I'm going to be using these two stamp sets. One is Milo's ABCs by Lawn Fawn, and the other is Newton's Birthday Bash from Newton's Nook. So I really wanted to create a card using the phrase, "You've cat to be kitten me right meow," because I think it's just so funny. And I don't have any stamps that say that, so I thought I would use these alpha stamps to build my own greeting. Now, these alphabet stamps from Lawn Fawn are really great because they're small, but also because the actual stamp shapes themselves are rectangular, so you can slide the stamps next to each other and mount them on your stamp press or on your acrylic block. So I've placed the stamps on my stamp press and also this block, and I ran out of one letter. I needed another T when I was placing the word right, so I ended up putting a different letter there just so I could get the spacing, and then I'll stamp the first part of the phrase in StazOn ink, and then I'll stamp the second part of the phrase and then fill in that letter. So here's my test run, and that's when I learned that I needed to press down a little bit more on the bottom of those last few words. And now I'm stamping on some watercolor paper, and this is cut to 5 inches wide by 3 3/4 tall. So I first stamped the beginning of the sentiment, and I decided since I had mounted those letters, I was going to go ahead and stamp it twice just in case any of the stamping didn't turn out. And then I took the last part of the phrase that says right meow. I took off that T off the previous stamping and put it on there so it would complete the words, and then stamped that on both pieces to complete the greeting. I then took one of the stamps from that Newton's Birthday Bash stamp set and put that down in the bottom corner. This is going to create my little scene with the cat with the presents. And after I had that stamped on both of these watercolor pieces, I took the one that I thought looked the best and put that on a heavy board with some tape, and I'm going to add some masking fluid over the top of the cat. This is some fine line masking fluid. I'd never used it before, so I did a little test run on some scratch cardstock to see how well it would do. And then I went in and started putting it on the image. I'm doing this because I'm going to be watercoloring over the top to fill in the background area. And this liquid masking fluid is going to mask off that entire area so that I can paint over top. So I set this aside and let it dry actually for a couple hours. I think it probably would have been okay after about an hour, but I went and did other things. So now I'm back and I'm ready to start watercoloring. So I first put down a full wash of water over the entire piece of watercolor paper. And this is because I want all of the colors that I add on top to already have that water there so they'll mix with each other. So I started out with a really bright yellow color, and I'm going to bring that in just with a regular watercolor brush. And I want to make sure that I have nice and pigmented, so I'm really swirling my paintbrush in there. And then I'll bring it over onto my project. And I'm mostly keeping kind of that top left corner free from color because I don't want any color up there. I want it to kind of fade off to a white. So now I'm bringing in an orange color. This is going to follow sort of a rainbow pattern going down into that bottom corner. So I'm going to pick up some red now. This is more of a purpley pinky red. And I'll just pull that from all those different areas. Now I'm going to grab some purple, and I'll just add a little bit of purple down here at the bottom. And the last color I'm going to be adding is some blue, and this is going to go at the very, very bottom below the purple. After I had added all those colors, I took my mister bottle and I just misted this entire area with just a little bit of water just to get those colors moving a little bit more. And then I lifted up my board and kind of moved things around a little bit to make sure that those colors had the opportunity to mix. And they started kind of pooling around the masking area. So I did grab a paper towel and tried to pick up some of that water because I didn't want a ton of water just collecting right next to the masking. So at this point, I haven't picked it up quite yet, but I will in a minute here. I'm just very gingerly taking my paper towel and kind of sopping up some of that water because it was kind of overtaking that area in the center. I'm dabbing away some of the color at the edges. And once again, that water is collecting in the middle of the painting, so I'm going to try to collect some of that. And then I'll be picking up the board and kind of moving everything off to the side, because I realized that area in the middle was almost turning grayish brown and I didn't want those colors to mix. So I grabbed my heat tool and I'm going to quickly heat this before the colors mix anymore and create a mess in the center. Because when you have a lot of colors all together, the more they mix, the more they just turn a muddy brown. So I want to prevent them from mixing any more, and I'm doing that by heat setting this so that it doesn't keep moving all around. So after that was completely dry, now I'm ready to take off the masking fluid, and so I'm just going to let it peel up underneath my fingertips. And this masking fluid in particular was really strong. It didn't tear the paper, but it was really, really strong and hard to pull off. This could also be because of the amount of masking fluid that was put down. I did test this on that other sheet of cardstock and it was just really thin lines, and that masking fluid came off quite a bit easier, but that could be just because it was a smaller area. I'm not entirely sure. But I did like that it protected that area and it masked off really well. So now I'm coloring the cat and presents, and the beginning here I'm starting with some distress markers, and I'm using a Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen to add moisture and spread that color around. I'm going to speed the process up here, but I am going to walk you guys through it. So I just added a little bit of color to a block and picked that up with my Wink of Stella over and over again. You guys saw me use a Wink of Stella brush pen in my previous video, and I used Inktense pencils with it. Those pencils are a similar sort of process as these distress markers that I'm using today, except the distress marker ink doesn't spread as much as the Inktense pencil that did when I was doing that video. So just keep that in mind if you want to use the same Wink of Stella technique. So I'm zoomed in here so you can see a little bit better. I'm going to paint those ribbons on the presents now. So that pink color I used was Picked Raspberry, and then the gray was Pumice Stone, and this teal color is Peacock Feathers. And now I'm going to use Chipped Sapphire for the bow on the top presents. I just thought these colors were really cute and they kind of went along with the rainbow colors. So I'm going to start out by coloring on the cat. I'm going to start with his ears. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that pink color of the Picked Raspberry and kind of water it down quite a bit. And then I'll come in and paint his ears and nose. And I heat set that so that as I add black on top, that it won't smear or smudge or run out. So like I've done in the past, I'm going to paint this cat to look like my cat, Manny. And I mostly do this because I send these cards myself to family and friends, and the people I send them to know what my cat looks like. So it's a little bit more of a personalized card for them. Sometimes if they have a cat of their own, I'll paint the cat to look like their cat. But this one is going to a person who does not have a cat, so I thought it would be perfect to have it look like Manny. So I'm just going to heat set that and make sure everything's dry after I've painted in the ground. And after that was done, then I needed to finish the rest of the greeting. So it says, "You've cat to be kitten me, right meow. I missed your birthday." So this person's birthday was, I think it was last week. So I've got to get this in the mail right away. So I'm just using a 0.3 Copic multiliner to write in the rest of that phrase. And now I'm going to work on the card base. I'm using some 110-pound Neenah Solo Right cardstock, and I've scored that at 4 1/4 so that I can create a top folding landscape card. I adhered everything with some foam adhesive and then applied some sequins with some Ranger Multimedia Matte. So that's the card for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys tomorrow for a new mail call video. Thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video. On screen right now are 3 more birthday cards that I've created recently. I've been working on a ton of birthday cards. I have a lot of people in my life whose birthdays are in January and February, apparently. I think February is one of the busiest birthday months for me. That, and I think it was August and then November. for some reason, a lot of people have babies in those months. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please leave a comment and let me know how you liked it. And you can also visit my blog at kingwernerdesign.com. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. And if you'd like, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.